Hello and good morning. Welcome to another glorious read. I am your host, Afton Sage. Let's get into it. Happy Saturday, everybody. I hope everybody's having a fantastic beginning of the weekend or coming into the weekend, whatever it may be for you. I hope you have a fantastic beginning. I hope that you have your books picked out for the week. I hope that everything goes smoothly for you. But as always, let's get into our review. I am doing the review on the last current book of the Court and Thorns and Roses series. The one with Nesta and Cassian, more like it. So it's A Court of Silver Flames. This book I loved. I loved Farah and Rhysand's books, or everything before it. But this one kind of hit a little bit different for me, just because it was a lot more spicier. It was a lot more personal battles, almost. I know Farah in the first books had a lot of battles on her own, surviving to keep up with her family, then getting kidnapped, basically, to fighting underneath the mountain, to fighting for Rhysand to become her mate. And obviously the big war beforehand, and then her battle to keep her older sister, connected with them. So, she fought a lot of battles, but for Nesta, it was more personal. It was a lot of self-failure, in my opinion. And I feel like her and Cassian kind of have the whole same idea, where Cassian's feels like he more failed Rhysand. He failed his mother. He failed the other men that he lost in battle, even though they still look at him as a lone-born bastard child. So this book actually definitely hit different. I love it, though. I love the story between Nesta and Cassian, though. I feel like they connected a lot deeper, and it was such a beautiful story put together. A lot of the beginning of the book is a lot of POV kind of point of views. You have Farah's, obviously you have Nesta's and Cassian's, you even have Rhysand's. It basically begins with Nesta's habit. Nesta is basically drinking herself under the table. She's sleeping around with men. She's gambling. She is just racking up the bills, and she doesn't care. All just to keep herself feeling something. She doesn't like the memories that haunt her about the cauldron, how her father's neck snapped, and basically just not being human anymore. And of course, all the things that bothered her before, like how people have said different things to her. It comes down to basically an intervention between Farah, Rhysand, Amren, and Nesta. And of course, Cassian's there as well. So they basically gave Nesta a ultimatum to basically say, you either fix your ways and do our program that we want you to do, or you can go back to the human world. And of course, that did not hit well with Nesta. Her thing was basically, or Farah's thing was, she had to train with Cassian for the morning part. And then in the afternoons, she needs to work in the libraries with the priestess. This book definitely, like I said, hit a lot different because it's a lot of self-growth. It's a lot of forgiving yourself. It's a lot of trying to recreate yourself a lot. So for Nesta's case, she'd make some friends with some unlikely people. And by doing so, she actually keeps reaching out her hand to help these people who have suffered just as she has, just in different ways, to grow. One being a priestess named Gwen, and another being a Illyrian female. She is both of those women are definitely more, one is more reserved, was the Illyrian female, because she owns a shop. Her father died in the war, and she basically can't fly because her father clipped her wings. And Gwen, being a priestess, she is there because something traumatic happened to her, but she's more fierce. She doesn't want pity from others. But she still feels her own guilt. So these three women basically become a powerhouse, and I love it, to the point where the Illyrian males are starting to get worried about her. And they obviously call Nesta a witch because she killed the king of Hybern and all of that wonderful stuff. So they know that she holds power. Also through the story, there's a lot of alliances going on. There's a lot of making sure that the queens, the human queens, are not gonna commit a war again, even though there's talks of it. There's one queen that is causing problems. It's a whole fiasco. Like, it's hard to explain, but there's a lot going on. I still have questions in this book that haven't been answered, and I hope in the next one that Sarah J. Maas is writing that there will be answers too. Because there's parts that I'm like, that don't make sense to me. There's also the Trove, so you'll learn about the Trove, what's awesome. My question is, though, if there's a magic sword that they mention in this book, but they don't know where it is, and they think it's lost at sea. So I'm also wondering if this sword is going to come back, and I'm kind of wondering if this new story is going to be more about Elena and Azriel, and I'm kind of wondering if Elaine's going to be in control of this Trove. So there's obviously the mask, there's the crown. Nesta also has the power to create these troves. But these books, I don't know how Sarah does such in-depth world building and character building. I do character building and world building at the same time, but not to this level. She has created a whole new fantasy realm that I love deeply. And the way that she makes it sound, she just makes it sound so real that you could actually go visit these places. And just the characters, you kind of just wonder if you're going to run into them in the streets. Obviously, Amryn is now High Fae. She is no longer the creature that they talk about. But with Amryn, I'm also wondering if she still has some kind of power. That was one of my questions that we don't know about. Like, I'm wondering if where she had that power to basically slaughter everybody in the field, if she has now a new one to create, like a life kind of thing. There's still, I have a feeling that Amryn's hiding something. And then Morgan, there's still secret questions about her. Like, there was a part left out where Cassian asks Eris, what happened to Morgan? Like, why did you do that to her? And he's like, wow, I didn't think I had to answer this question. And he's like, that's up for the Morgan to talk about. That's Moore's thing. So I'm wondering if Moore's hiding something from everybody in the Night Court. Like, I'm wondering if she wants to talk about, like, maybe she was pregnant with Cassian's baby, or maybe because it is the fact that she is more attracted to women, and Eris knows it. Like, I'm not sure. There's a lot of questions not answered. And another thing is, Elaine's power has not come through this book, and I'm wondering if Elaine still has this book, or this power, or if she can almost, like, time travel. I'm kind of wondering. Like, I'm wondering if she can go back and see other people's, like, tortured moments. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of questions I have. And, of course, in this book, Azriel is now more still the spy, but yet he's more sweet on Elaine a little bit. And, of course, Rhysand and Feyre have their baby in this book, Nyx. So I'm excited to know about how that comes about. Like, I'm hoping in this next book, it's about Nyx maybe growing up. I'm kind of wondering if Cassian and Nesta are going to have a baby. Like, I have a lot of questions that aren't answered, and I can't wait to know what this new book is about. But like I said, the Court of Silver Flames is beautifully done. I love Nesta's power. I love it that she takes the cauldron. And one of my favorite quotes throughout the whole series and into the book, like calls to like. I have a feeling that's a more truer statement, because some things do call to each other and you can feel it. It's just one of those things that make me go, yeah, I can see that. So she is a complete badass. Like, Feyre's a badass, but Nesta is like a bigger, badder badass. And of course, with Cassian on her side, oh yeah, they're like awesome. I did get concerned a little bit when Nesta really reveals something to Feyre, and Rhysand basically goes on like, I want her gone, or I'm going to destroy her in front of everybody. I kind of love how protective these males are of their females. Like, deep down, that's like what every woman wants. Like, they want a man that's like nice and caring, but they want them to be possessive and dominant. I don't know. I can't speak for every woman. I just know that in like, when you're reading and these fictional men, that's kind of what you want. Sometimes we crave that little bit of a smartass just so we can smack it out of them. We love the goofballness. We love, like I said, we love the caring and tenderness. We love it when the fictional men know what their women want and they're just so in tune. Again, that's why most, I think, readers fall over these fictional characters. I know some men that fall over the female characters because they're so badass or they're just so snappy. They like the brattiness. They just love how a woman can stand on their own. So it's like a 50-50 mix, you know? And I love it so deeply. But I definitely give this book, The Court of Silver Flames, a 5-star. I would not change my answer on that one. I pretty much give this whole series like a 5-star. Like I said, the spice is a lot more. There's a lot more of Cassian and Nesta entwining in the sheets without actually being in a bed. And the fact that she's a smut reader, like the whole book community likes to talk about, like everybody likes to read smut and spice. And I love it, the fact that the house talks to her in a way. Like, she'd be like, what do you recommend to read? And like books appear on the table kind of thing. So the fact that the house even enjoys like reading a spicy novel or book or like series is hilarious to me. Like, the book's like, I know what goes on in this house. I've seen some things. I also enjoy reading these novels and I will share it with you. And like, Cassian's like, wow, the house actually listens to you. Like, that's crazy. And he even tries it, I think, at one point, and like the house does nothing, and he's like, oh. Or like, there was a point where he's like, I gotta be more careful what I do around here. Like, if the eyes have, like, the house has eyes kind of thing. But definitely add it to your to-read list if you haven't already. I know I'm eventually hoping to have a bookshelf full of the series. I do prefer my Kindle because it is easier to read and carry around. It is cheaper, but I do love the fact that there's physical books. Like, I want a copy of every book I've read so I could fill basically bookshelves and long bookshelves. So far, like, I have my Vanessa Allen 2 books. I have my Haunted Adeline series. I am just trying very slowly to add to my collection, so I can display every book I've read. I know some of my Kindles that I read don't actually have paperbacks, but I definitely want to collect the books I definitely liked. So definitely the Court of Thorns and Roses series is going to end up on my bookshelf at some point. Along with like the Body Count series, I want to get the X Clan and V Clan series. I would love the Jessica Hall's Liking series. I am reading one of their books now. I'm reading Being Mated to the King's Gamma with Abby and Damien's story. And like the previous books, there are clips from old books in there. but it does not take away from the story this time. This time it's a lot more detailed, and I'm hoping my questions that I've had sitting on the shelf here, a little pin in it, is going to be answered about what happened to her grandma. Like, is her grandma actually still alive? Is Damien and Abby going to have a child together? Is she going to change into a liking? Like, I have so many questions that aren't answered, and I need them to be answered so I don't go crazy and just have this pin on my wall going, what is going to happen next? It's like writing my books. I constantly, I know the storyline. I've written all 12 in those series, and I keep going through, and I'm like, wait, what happens next? And then I have this scene that happens. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about the scene. And then I have to change it or add about it. And then I go, okay, we got to put a pin in this. So I write a little side note. So I'm like, okay, this sounds better. I get it. So as much as I like to write input comments down and pin things, I also read things and have questions that need to be pinned and answered. So that is it for this week's review. 5 stars all around for The Court of Silver Flames. I can't wait until the 6th book comes out. I'm excited. But regardless, I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Go get a book. Go do something nice for yourself. Go get a coffee or tea. Maybe go to your favorite bakery. Maybe go get some sweets or something. Or even like I want to do with my little book clubby friends, my little people I have that we discuss books. I want to do a little s'more barbecue. I want to get some nice cheeses and meats and crackers, and we sit by the fire and roast them and make it all melty and yummy and just sit around and gab about books and drinks and, just have a good time with, quality time with people I care about. But with that said, thank you for listening in. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.